welcome to my channel, and today I have another theatre vlog for you. So tonight Lawrence and I are off to the Palace Theatre in Manchester to go and see the Rocky Horror Show. Now the Rocky Horror Show is one of our favourite musicals. We've seen it many times before, and yeah, we're really looking forward to going and see it. We didn't realise when we booked it that Jason Donovan isn't actually on for this performance. This is one of the days he's not doing. It's Bank Holiday Monday. And we didn't realise when we booked it that he wasn't on, but still looking forward to it. It's still a show we really enjoy, and yeah, come along with us. I'll show you around the theatre, show you the merch, film the curtain call, and then I'll review the show once I get home for you as well. So I hope you enjoy this little video. Lawrence and I are off to go and see Rocky Horror at the Palace Theatre in Manchester, and when we booked it we didn't realise that Jason Donovan isn't on tonight, which we really were looking forward to go and see, weren't we?
Yeah.
But we'll still enjoy it because we like Rocky Horror. But it would have been nice to see, because I've heard he's quite good. So
I'm sure though. I'm sure I've seen him. I'm sure I've seen him once or twice playing him. I've seen him. The name recognised that I've seen him.
Oh, the person that's doing it. Yeah, I think I've seen him as well.
So I like him.
So yeah, should be fun. So Lawrence is sort of dressed up. He's got his shoes. Got that on.
On time to the morning.
Yeah, so we're gonna head out now because it's absolutely chucking it down.
Yeah. Take it with us.
Yeah. So we'll get back to you now once we're at the theatre. So now at the tram stop, the rain is awful, and Lawrence had to go back because his shoes broke. Those ridiculous high heels, they broke. So he had to go back and change his shoes, and he's still not here yet. We literally just missed the tram, and because it's bank holiday, they're only like every 20 minutes. So I've got a quarter an hour to wait now for the next tram, so I'm not even going to get on the tram until 6:30. But as long as we get there for 7, it's fine. So hopefully I'll turn up in a minute. Fingers crossed. Okay, so we have purchased our programme and we're going to head up. We're in the circle today, so let's head up to the circle. Okay, so we're going to find our seat. Okay, so we're now in our seats in row A, seat 16. This is the view. And yeah, looks like a good view, so we'll get back to you now at the interval and let you know what we think. Okay, so it's now the interval. What do you think, Lauren? Yeah?
I was like, it's not who was thinking they were playing Frank-N-Furter.
Yeah.
It's not.
Is that what you thought it was? Yeah, it's good though.
It's good.
I think it's got good voice.
It's good voice. I was talking to Jade and think Manga from Wilkins, still up there. think it was last year, 2 years ago, we changed the Rocky Horror separate. He was my favourite one because he's done the last 2 I've been to.
I think my favourite was David the Deer. When we went to Thor and Juliet, who played the dad, what's he called?
Yeah. I don't remember the name, so I can't remember his name.
Yeah, really enjoyed it. It's really good. The view's great. And yeah, we should always enjoy Rocky Horror.
Oh yeah.
So we'll get back to you at the end and let you know, but really, really good so far. Hi, so it's actually been a couple of weeks now since I went to go and see the Rocky Horror Show at the Palace Theatre in Manchester, so I thought I'd better tell you a little bit about it. So we went to see the show on Monday the 26th of May, and it was a bank holiday, so it actually started earlier than the rest of the week. It started at 7:30, whereas the rest of the week I believe it started at 8 o'clock, and the matinees, not really matinees, but they started at 5 o'clock. So because it's bank holiday, it seemed to start a bit earlier at 7:30. The runtime of the show is 2 hours, and that includes a 20-minute interval, and it has an age guidance of 12 plus. So we actually paid £15 for our tickets, and the tickets we purchased were in the Circle, row O, seat 27 and 28. However, they hadn't sold that many tickets, and the Circle was actually quite empty, so we actually ended up moving to the front row of the Circle because there was no one sat there, and so we had an excellent view when we moved, and for £15 it was an amazing view. Loads of people moved seats, just because like the whole middle section and some of the front section was empty and everyone was sat at the back, so loads of people moved. And yeah, we had a really good view from the seats we moved to. I think the seats that we would have sat on would still have been a good view. But yeah, you do get an excellent view sat on the front row of the Circle, so definitely recommend those tickets. However, they're usually quite expensive. Merch wise, there was quite a bit of merch. I think some merch must have sold out. They didn't have many t-shirts available. Usually Rocky Horror has quite a few t-shirts. I could only see one t-shirt available. So I think some of the t-shirts and the apparel had sold out, but I think they had everything else. I couldn't find a price list for the merch, but I've looked online and this is what the online prices say, so I think this is accurate. So the merch that I could see, they had one t-shirt, which was the Don't Dream It, Believe It t-shirt, and I think that was £28. They had the hoodie, I think it was a zip-up hoodie, and that was £60. They had a bauble, sort of like one you'd put on your Christmas tree, for £15. There was a pin set for £14. There was a teddy bear with a t-shirt that said Eddie on it, and then at the back of the t-shirt it had the Rocky Horror logo on it. They were £15. There was a lipstick pen for £4. There was a fan that said regular Frankie fan, I think it said on it, and that was £18. There was a mug for £12, an eye mask for £10, glow sticks for £4, keyring for £7, there was a magnet for £7. Didn't buy the magnet because I bought it at last year's show and it was the exact same magnet from last year, because I'm pretty sure this is the exact same production that's been going around for about 3 years now, so a lot of the merch is the same, and the production is pretty much the same. So yeah, there was a tote bag for £16, and then you could get the souvenir brochure for £10, and obviously they had the house programmes, which I did get, and that was £6. So that's all the merch. So if you don't know anything about the Rocky Horror Show, it actually premiered in London back in 1973. They then made a film adaptation of it called the Rocky Horror Picture Show, which came out in 1975, and the show has music, book and lyrics by Richard O'Brien. So the story follows Brad and Janet, who are a classic clean-cut couple, until their car breaks down in the middle of nowhere in a storm. So looking for help, they stumble upon a creepy castle that turns out to be anything but ordinary. Inside they meet Dr. Frank-N-Furter, a bold, bizarre and fabulous mad scientist who's just created the perfect man, Rocky. But that's only the beginning. Add in a creepy butler, a sassy maid, a tap dancing groupie, a rock and roll biker, and even a suspicious scientist. And you've got a wild night full of sci-fi, glitter and gender-bending chaos. So that is the brief synopsis of the show. It's a really fun show. It's lots of fun. People often go dressed up as their favourite characters. I've been before dressed up. I think I dressed up as Magenta before, who is the maid. A lot of people like to dress up as Columbia. My friend's been and dressed up as Columbia, who is the tap dancing groupie. She wears sort of like a tap dancing outfit. Lawrence has been before. He's properly dressed up once before I met him, as Frank-N-Furter in the fishnet stockings and the corset. He's dressed up as one of the guests who sort of wear sort of like a tails and top hat and stuff like that with sunglasses. So yeah, we've dressed up before, and lots of people go dressed up. Some people go dressed up in lab coats because obviously there's a scientist part in it where they wear lab coats. People dress up in lab coats, and it's always fun. It's always nice to see all the costumes that people have made and that are wearing. So it's a fun show to go to. Also, the theatre etiquette is very different at a Rocky Horror Show. You don't just sit there in silence. People shout out. Like heckle the narrator. So if you don't know, the story is narrated. It has a narrator who narrates the story, and people shout out things to the narrator, and they always have these funny comebacks to the heckles. So it's a very interactive show. Obviously, one of the most well-known songs is The Time Warp, and often people do stand up during that song and do the dance. When we went, everyone, because we were sat on the front row of the circle, we could see that everyone in the stalls was up dancing to the Time Warp when Time Warp came on. I didn't really see anyone in the circle, probably because we're a bit high up. Usually people wait till the end when they do it at the end, but I don't think they're going to tell you to sit down if everyone's standing up during the show when they do it. Like I said, it's a very different sort of show. It's not one where you come in and you sit down and you're quiet. People do shout out and do stand up and do the dance and stuff. So yeah, it's a really fun show. This production is pretty much the same production that's been touring for the last couple of years. So the sets are all the same. The lighting design is pretty much exactly the same. I couldn't notice any differences. It looks exactly the same as the production we saw last time. But the sets are nice. I really enjoy the sets. The lighting design's really good as well. The cast were fantastic. Jason Donovan wasn't on at our performance. We didn't realise when we booked it that he wasn't on for that performance. But we had Adam Strong on, and to be honest, he was fantastic. I really enjoyed Adam Strong's performance, and I think he probably would have been better than Jason Donovan. My parents went and saw Jason Donovan, and they did say he was good, but Adam Strong had a really good voice. He really had a good voice. I thought he was a great Frank-N-Furter. I can't see Jason Donovan's voice being as strong as his, but yeah, I really enjoyed his performance. I thought he was fantastic. So I'm actually quite glad we got him as Frank-N-Furter because he was very, very good. So now it's probably a good place to go through the programme and show you who the rest of the cast were. Okay, so this is the programme. So this was £6, and it says it's the 2024-2025 UK tour. So actually this is quite good quality. This is quite thick paper. The last year's Rocky Horror one that I got was really thin, and it literally got ripped so easily, but this one is much better quality than last year's one. So as usual, you've got a welcome to the Palace Theatre, and it just mentions some upcoming shows that are coming to the Palace and the Opera House. You then, as usual, have your information on the Palace Theatre itself. You have some adverts for some upcoming shows. I've seen Come Fall in Love, absolutely fantastic musical. Definitely try and go see it if you can. Fantastic, loved it. I do have tickets for Moulin Rouge. I've actually sat front row for that. Can't wait for that. That's going to be really good. And the only other one on here that I'm going to probably buy tickets for is the Here and Now Steps musical. We then have an advert for Little Moons, which they sell in all ATG theatres, or at least most of them. And then we have the Rocky Horror information. So here we have the cast biography. So usually at the Manchester shows, Jason Donovan is playing Frank-N-Furter, but we happened to go on the one day that he wasn't on. Playing the narrator, you had Jackie Clune, and she was actually really funny. She had some really good comebacks to the heckles, and I thought she was a really good narrator. Playing Brad, we had Connor Carson. Playing Janet, we had Laura Chai. Playing Eddie and Dr. Scott, you had Edward Bullingham. Playing Riff Raff, you had Job Gruter. Playing the Usherette and Magenta, you had Natasha Hobridges. Playing Rocky, you had Morgan Jackson. Playing Columbia, you had Jamie Lee Zonicelli. Playing Phantom was Ryan Carter Wilson. Playing another Phantom is Arthur James. Another one of the Phantoms is Holly Nelson. Another Phantom is Erica Wilde. The Swing is Alec Hetherington. Another Swing is Stacey Monahan. So that is the cast, and here we've got the cast list. We've got the understudies, we've got the band, and then it says the runtime here. So the runtime is 2 hours including a 20-minute interval. We have the creative team. You have the production team, and you have 4 Rocky Horror. So it doesn't actually mention Adam Strong on here, and it didn't show him in here either. So he's actually not even in the programme, which is strange. I didn't realise that he wasn't even in the programme. So he's not even down as being an understudy, because he's classed as the alternate, but he's not actually on there. I think he is taking over the role from Jason Donovan and the rest of the tour. So maybe they weren't expecting to use him, I don't know. But he's not actually in the programme. But it was Adam Strong who played Frank-N-Furter. And then we just got the cast, the creative team's biographies, production credits, and that is more or less the programme. Some information on ATG, booking and venue information. There you go, so that is your programme. So like I said, there's not much in here other than the cast biographies. There's no articles, there's no production images, it is literally just the cast biographies. So overall, I really enjoyed Rocky Horror. I always do. It's such a fun show, and like I said, the cast I thought were fantastic, and I just really enjoy it. I love all the songs in Rocky Horror. There's not a single song in there that I don't enjoy. I love the atmosphere of it as well, and yeah, it's such a fun show, and I think I enjoyed it more this time around, probably because of where we were sat. We had such a good clear view. Usually when we've been, I think we usually sit in the grand tier when we see Rocky Horror, so these were probably the best seats we've ever had when we've been to see Rocky Horror, and I just really enjoyed it even more. So I actually think I'm going to give it 5 stars this time round. Couldn't fault it. It was a fantastic evening out. Highly recommend it if it's coming to anywhere near you. It's usually always on tour somewhere. Yeah, highly recommend it. It's really, really fun. And like I said, my parents actually went to see it, and this was their first time seeing Rocky Horror. And yeah, actually it's different to what they're used to, but they really enjoyed it and they had a good time. So yeah, great show. Highly recommend it. If you would like to read my full review on the show, I'll link that down below. So yeah, let me know if you've seen this current tour, where you've seen it, if you're going to see it at any of the other tour stops. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this little video. If you have, please do give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye!